Hello, Loomis. Loomis, today you're gonna get cultured. Are you ready, buddy? You don't seem ready. My water. Don't knock over the water. No, don't stick your face in the... Okay, it's not going well. Dude, today we're reacting to a video about the show Xavier, Renegade Angel that was on freaking Adult Swim. I think that's what it was called.
I'm not violent at all. Look! But you killed those people. Did I?
The video's called That Show That Was Too Weird for Television by Harry from Ends. Shouts out. How many seasons of the show were there, actually? 2 seasons? I'd say I've watched at least half of it. And it's super funny, dude. I freaking never heard of it or watched it on TV, but it was on HBO Max or some shit. Now called Max. Highly recommend. It's...
Hurry, get in the way. I'm committing vehicular manburger helper.
And quality brain rot. I would have loved it as a kid, even though I wouldn't have understood it because it makes no sense. But he says frittata a lot. I don't even know what that is. Oh no, it's fried pork. Ecuadorian food. What the hell? Okay. Anyways, this show's too weird. Let's hear it.
Adult Swim is no stranger to broadcasting weird and wonderful shows. In fact, it's quite literally their MO. However, even in a sea of wacky shows, Xavier Renegade Angel stands out as being the fever dream of all fever dreams. Allow me to...
Dude, it's like a freaking PS1 game from hell that never existed.
Explain. You see, Xavier Renegade
I just mean the animation style, you know?
Seasons between 2007 and 2009, and was created by John Lee and Vernon Chapman, who, as a side note, is the voice of Towley, one of my all-time favorite South Park characters.
Who?
And despite
I'm so
the
sorry.
Show only running for...
But who, though? Towley. This is about Xavier now.
2 seasons, and having been off the air for 14 years.
He's got a snake for a hand.
Now, Xavier Renegade Angel has cultivated arguably the most die-hard fan base of any Adult Swim show. So, I think it's time that we find out...
I believe it, though I have never heard it or seen it before.
Answer to the age-old question...
Until now.
What doth life? And what better place to start than in Season 1, where we're introduced to Xavier, a pseudo-philosophical shaman animated in the style of a PS2 cutscene who wanders
PS2, PS1, I mean, I was close.
The desert, seeking to find out who killed his father.
I'm glad we agree that Xbox didn't look like this.
And in the process, giving us some truly incredible wisdom.
Mister, sorry our computer's fritzing on y'all.
I'll be fine. I'm a survivor. We're a dying breed.
And as you may have guessed from this opening, Xavier is incredibly foolish, but yet believes that every action he takes is guiding himself on a metaphysical journey of great magnitude. And this is because Xavier has what the kids would call main character syndrome, or what functioning members of society over the age of 13 would call narcissistic and sociopathic tendencies, with Xavier truly believing that he helps every single person that he comes into contact with, and that their lives have been blessed for having just met him. And this even extends to the title. I mean, what kind of man calls himself a renegade angel? However, despite Xavier's narcissistic belief,
he's got backwards legs,
that he helps everyone he comes into contact with, the reality of his impact is often a lot
not like Loomis. What the hell going on?
Darker, as every episode brings with it another opportunity for Xavier to completely destroy the society in which he lives, all while spouting some philosophical nonsense and patronizing those who he is allegedly trying to help in the process.
Look at the two of us. We could be like Beauty and the Beast. What do you say? Will you be my beast?
And when I was doing...
I think I will. I think I'll be the beautiful bastard. I mean, they're both good looking, right?
A little digging on Xavier's pseudo-philosophy, I came across a passage in Dante's Inferno, and there was a section in Bolgia 4, Sorcerers, which states that Dante looks down at the souls of fortune-tellers, diviners, astrologers, and other false prophets. The punishment of those who attempted to usurp God's prerogative by prying into the future is to have their heads twisted around on their bodies, and these sinners are compelled to walk backwards for eternity, blinded.
Oh, he's a sinner being punished. That sort of explains what the fuck going on here.
By their own tears. And this really struck me when I read it, because Xavier's whole design is based around his body being disjointed, with his legs facing the opposite way to his body, so that Xavier is perpetually in a state of backwards motion, even when he believes that he is progressing and helping others. And the worst part about all
that is deep. You know, I never really thought about that, or I thought his legs was just backwards, because this is a brain rat show, but that's why we're here, to learn, to listen, and to achieve.
Of this is that no one is even asking for his help in the first place, with Xavier...
That's the best kind of help you can get, though.
Literally just interjecting where it's not needed, all to fuel his savior complex, and thus his ego. And this also brings with it a rather interesting dichotomy between the Angel moniker that Xavier brands himself with and the hell that he inflicts on all of his surroundings, as not only does he destroy everything he touches, but he also belittles those around him in the process.
You ruffians, leave that poor gimp alone.
Who you calling?
Oh my god. Can you say that? You can call him a gimp? That's crazy.
Gimp, weirdo. He probably can't tell. Leave that
I'm glad
poor
he
gimp
questioned him on that. I'm glad I wasn't the only
alone.
one.
Who you calling gimp, weirdo? He probably can't tell you're mocking him. He's obviously slow.
And
Holy shit, dude.
having Xavier be an unlikable
What a
character
psycho.
is absolutely a conscious
He's truly the alpha male.
choice by the show's creators, as Xavier is intended to be a parody of the modern-day gurus and other pretentious members of society that believe that they hold true knowledge.
Maybe that's why it's so funny. He's basically just Gary Vee and Andrew Tate smashed together, made just as handsome.
And will turn just about any subject into a monologue about themselves. And painting your character in this light can be a rather dangerous game. I mean, just look at Brian Griffin from Family Guy.
Just look at him. It's Brian. From Peter Dog.
A once beloved family dog gets given an excess dose of hubris from the writers, and as a result of this, almost all of the Family Guy fanbase now hates Brian and his pretentious personality. However, Xavier manages to avoid the pitfalls that Brian not so gracefully
Thought people hated him because he was a woke liberal and escaped death.
lunged into by maintaining his comedic integrity. I mean, just listen to some of the amazing one-liners that he comes up with.
Oh, rather laying flowers where our son was killed.
And I suppose you blame yourselves for his death. I know I do.
And this
What? Was it his fault?
is all very well and good, but we still haven't talked about arguably the main component of the show, putting personality.
Dude, it's like freaking, wait, what the? He at the circus mentally, at the digital circus? I got Pomni brain, that makes
The
sense.
disjointed visuals of the show are an intentional choice, with many people theorizing that the Fever Dream style computerized animation is to whittle out the people who wouldn't get the message of the show. And
I'm surprised this was a show on TV at all, to be honest. It's just so out there, but I guess Adult Swim is the place that you would go with such a concept. But it makes sense that it was short-lived, but it's so funny
whilst
that this
I
exists.
understand that argument, I myself believe that the animation
He's reading the
style is used to
Bible.
detail just how grotesque humans can truly be, with the animation being used to exemplify
Hey man,
the
I don't like religion either, but don't call it gross.
horrific
Jesus.
treatment of others within the show, which Xavier both inflicts and is on the receiving end of, with the phrase, "We don't cotton to freaks around here," being a particular favorite.
We don't cotton to freaks round these parts.
What does that even
Scram,
mean?
Weirdo.
And the theme of abuse is rampant within XRA, and the way that the writers handle abuse is incredibly interesting, as most pieces of media, especially ones developed and broadcast for Western audiences, treat abuse as something that fuels the protagonist to become an even greater version of themselves, shaking off the shackles of oppression and becoming even more powerful as a result of their mistreatment.
Not this guy. He's just as horrible all the way through, I think. I mean, I guess I gotta rewatch it at some point and finish it.
But this is not Xavier, and the showrunners actually go out of their way to showcase just how weird and damaged Xavier has become as a result of his abuse.
What the fuck? This is so many years before Snapchat made mouths on tongues.
And by doing this, the show subverts the trope of using abuse as a fuel source in a really intelligent way, ultimately creating the message that, hey, maybe we should reflect on our own actions and not abuse people in the first place. Then
Why is he wearing him as a backpack?
there wouldn't be this unnecessary mental struggle placed on the victim, which in Xavier's case has only served to make him an even weirder and more sociopathic version of himself.
Do you want one, Dad? Dad? Dad! Don't make this poor, pathetic vendor wait.
All
Oh my
while
god.
simultaneously fueling his savior complex, as he believes that everything around him is evil and needs to be fought against, not worked with. And Xavier's strange philosophical blabberings, combined with his inflated ego, sets us up perfectly for the unanimously agreed upon magnum opus of the show, Season 1, Episode 10, Shakashuri Blowdown, which immediately shatters the expected narrative flow by telling us in the first 30 seconds that Xavier is the one that killed his own dad.
It was you who killed me.
Huh?
What kind of stupid name is Yoo-Hoo?
What? That is a really stupid name. I didn't get the joke at first. I get it now.
Well, when I find that demon,
Why does his notepad say
What kind of stupid name is you?
arson question mark?
Well, when I find that demon, I shall slay him to death.
But don't worry, we don't stay on this topic too long, because, I mean, come on, that would be silly. So after finding out he's his father's killer, Xavier realizes that it is he who must be killed.
Oh my god.
For us, Xavier's death is postponed by the rednecks returning.
Oh,
and
okay.
in a very Monty Python way, they once more beat Xavier
What the fuck is happening?
And the most significant part of this episode, in my view, is the fact that Xavier views himself as too cosmically significant to die. So instead of ending his own life, he splits himself in half and attempts to kill his other self, which in turn leads to one of the best exchanges that we've ever seen in animation.
I ever get your stinky mug in my line of sight, I swear to Chekhov, I'll cock your clock off. Well, I'm going to be the bigger man and hang up first. Damn it.
And this
What the fuck, dude?
exchange has lived on in internet history.
I want to see this scene that he was hyping it up.
Hello? 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 Who's this? Who's this? I'm
It's
asking
us.
the questions. I called
It's
you.
both of us.
No, the ugliest son of a bitch I ever heard.
That makes
you
sense.
sound like the physical manifestation of some loser's inner demons. You sound like some total chode's inability to confront the reality of his
Chodes?
You're the sad figment of my twisted psyche's tragic dividend. You're the un-me. I'm the real me. You wanna be me, kiddo? I was the real me when you were stealing my short pants. Hate to break it to you, but I wore them first. Me bequeathed thee the psychopathological hand-you-down. So you're the one who stained them. Whoever found it, browned it. You'd like me to be you, wouldn't me? But it's too late. You snows. You lows. You
Holy shit, I have to turn this off. I'm getting dumber by the second.
And Xavier will ease up on the name calling, and yeah, we both know that isn't going to happen. In fact, season 2 becomes even more disjointed than season 1, if that's even possible, as Xavier's dialect is further deconstructed and the showrunners play around with the soundboard to the point where characters and their dialogue are entirely interchangeable with each other.
Oh my
And sometimes you
God.
can't even tell who's talking. And not only this, but season 2 also continues the joke per second style that works so well in season 1, with the closest comedic example I can think of being Poli Squad, which ran for only one season in 1983 and was cancelled because the networks feared that
Before my
audiences
time,
couldn't
man.
keep up with how many jokes were being told every second.
It was just too funny. Look at this. She's got a window. The Overton window of comedic opportunity. It's closing. I better get them all in. I had to pause the video.
Essentially, the show was deemed too smart for most audiences.
For
and
real,
during the
dude.
one
It's definitely not just getting off the air for any other reason.
season run, the writers
I think
of the
they might
show
have
were
lied to you,
actually
bro.
told to write less jokes. However, as an audience member and avid fan of both shows, the effort that the writing staff puts into every second of their show certainly doesn't go unnoticed, with both Poli Squad
It
and
could be considered exhausting to consume, I suppose, but there's only 2 seasons. And I think it's 15-minute episodes. You can handle it, dude. It's
Xavier
fine.
Renegade
It's not
Angel
too smart.
growing cult audiences
It's too
years
stupid.
after their
And
cancellation.
too naked, if anything.
Due to the
Get it right.
rewatchability of both
Get it
shows.
tight.
And even to this day, I still find little jokes and references. At least we got a conclusion of sorts, as in the finale, Xavier battles and annoys his very own thoughts.
I'm just a
Oh, hell
projection
yeah.
of your feelings.
Yeah, put it all on me. Someone's in denial.
Will you please just shut up?
And all of this
Alright.
comes before having his true self revealed.
Do not show me your weird sigil, you old man. Stop that witchcraft right now.
By a doctor,
You're
which
grounded.
I thought was an incredible end to the series.
I think you're ready to see
Oh, it's an inkblot from my
yourself
therapist.
for the first time.
Hope
Not
I
how
didn't
you
say too much. That gave you too much insight into my psyche. God damn it.
imagine
Tricked
yourself,
again.
but how you truly are.
Ah, I'm beautiful.
Dang, I'm cured.
Cured? Who said there was anything wrong with you?
Wait, what?
However, of course, since XRA is an Adult Swim show, it naturally got cancelled after 2 seasons.
Too
Back
smart,
in the
too
late
funny,
2000s,
too hot, too naked.
The show
Too
wasn't
many
as
of
beloved
these
as it
guys.
is now. The many other shows that comprise the Adult Swim roster at the
Oh, I was kind of right. Adult Swim, though, was the too funny, too poppin', too many good shows.
And
You
on
didn't
top
make the
of this,
cut, buddy.
meme culture and social media practically didn't exist in the way it does now, where it's almost become the norm, with a lot of people, including myself, finding out about XRA and deciding to give it a watch in the first place because we saw a funny haha meme on the subject. So, as much as I'd love to say that Xavier Renegade Angel was cancelled for being too smart, similar to Poli Squad, or it was simply misunderstood in its time, man,
I'll say
I simply just don't believe either of these things to be true.
Even I didn't understand it. I didn't see it. Maybe if I wasn't allowed to watch it, he was just reaching up the camel's behind. Dude, shout out freaking Harry from Ends. This was a really good video about a really good show. I'll link the video down below, but you can find the show for yourself, dude. Have you ever watched Xavier Renegade Angel, or what is your favorite Adult Swim show? Let me know in the freaking comments. Dude, thanks for watching this reaction video. I love you. Goodbye.